Welcome to On Air with Kash. You will be seeing a lot of our guests today on your TVs this month. She stars in the films My Best Friend's Secret Life, Malicious Motives, and Just What the Doctor Ordered. She stars as Becca in Killer Ambition, airing Friday, January 21st on Lifetime. Please welcome Carrie Schroeder.
Hi.
Carrie, how are you? It's so good to see you.
It is so good to see you. Thank you very much. I'm doing really, really well. Thank you.
I know you are. I saw you, I think it was 2 months ago, right before the holidays. We were on the red carpet together at the Hollywood Museum.
Do you know what? It was just that moment, when we could all be out and about and we're all doing things, and then it all got shut down again.
All got shut down again, but we had that moment to talk. It was for Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
And I think we were just talking like, oh, I got this movie coming out. And then we exchanged information. We're following each other on social media. I'm like, okay, that wasn't just one movie. You have another movie and then another movie. In fact, every day you post something new and I'm like, you have at least 5 movies all simultaneously happening.
Yeah, I was so fortunate during the pandemic. I was so busy. I don't think I've ever been busier. And now what happens is at the moment, like you said, this month, it's just my face on Lifetime. That's really all you're seeing.
This is the face of Lifetime right here. We have her on the show.
Thank you. No, I'm very, very grateful for all the work.
Killer Ambitions. This is coming out Friday, the 21st.
It is. I am so excited for this one. Killer Ambitions. I actually got to use my Aussie accent in this one, which I never get to do. It's directed by Lindsay Hartley, who's amazing. It's always great to work with a director who is an actor as well. And during our first rehearsal, we're doing a scene and she's like, you know what? Let's just try it in your Australian accent. Is that okay? I'm like, sure, up for anything. And of course, I went to do the scene. I was like, oh, hang on a second. I don't remember my lines if I have to do it in Australian because they're all different. So I just took a couple of seconds and I did the scene in my Australian accent. She went, oh, yep, that's it. We're doing it. I love it. So yeah, it was so great. But then I had to go back and relearn all of my lines because the intonations are different, the inflections are different. And that was kind of blowing my mind. But it ended up changing the character completely. And I had such a fun time.
That is incredible because I've seen so much of your work and you're right. I haven't seen you use I've seen you use other accents and even just looking at your reel, I'm like, oh, right. That's all Carrie. You're so believable in these roles and they're all so different. I forget. Oh yeah, it's Carrie.
Oh, thank you very much. I so appreciate that. Yes, I did on Why Women Kill. I had my French accent and that was fun. I don't think I've ever done that on screen before. I've done a lot of stuff on stage. So that was fun. But yeah, so this one was great. And Lindsay let me play because obviously I just discovered more and more about this character and she just got sassier as the shoot went on, which was so much fun. And I got a lot of leeway with this film. So I cannot wait for you all to see it.
Well, a guilty pleasure of mine is Lifetime movies. I'm not going to lie. I'm really into it. So I'm definitely one who's going to be tuning in and so should all of you watching this right now.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great film, great cast, and a great director. And, who doesn't love a Lifetime thriller on a Friday night?
Best. Get my popcorn, a Coca-Cola, and I'm like, yeah, get to watch my friend.
Well, I choose wine, but Coca-Cola is good too. Right.
And I know I was really impressed by this cast. I really admire Lindsay and her work as an actress and a filmmaker. And then I saw my buddy Sean Kanan's in it as well.
He is. It was so great to. I've never worked with him before, so it was really lovely. And he's so kind and so generous and obviously very talented.
So talented. Yeah, actually, we were both featured at a Film Fest LA Live last November.
Oh, great.
He won for Studio City. I won for On Air with Kash. And I just love his team. And he's, like you said, a very kind guy, very generous.
Yeah, and he's everywhere. He has so much going on and he generates so much of his own work. He's a real go-getter.
I'm pumped about Killer Ambition. And then you also have, what's streaming now on the Lifetime movie channel is Malicious Motives.
Yeah, actually it came out last year, I think, late last year. But now they just announced it is now available on demand. It's on iTunes and Amazon Prime. So if you haven't got enough fill of Lifetime thrillers, that was one I actually shot in Oklahoma and it was freezing. It was just before that massive ice storm came through Texas and all of those places. And we were shooting and it was just getting colder and colder. And of course, I think we were supposed to be in summer. And at one point it was snowing and they're like, that's 3 months later. Yeah, but it was great. And that has a great cast in it too. The girls are great in that. And the director, Michael Hoy, who is very kind and I adore him. And I actually shot with him another movie in Boston mid last year, and that is coming out. I think it's coming out in the next couple of months. I'm very excited for that one.
So cool. And you also have Pom Poms and Payback, both new movies you have?
Yeah, so Pom Poms and Payback, and that is also, if you have the Lifetime app, you can log in anytime and you can watch some cheerleading fun. Well, fun. I do hit a lot of people on Lifetime. I'm either getting hit or I'm hitting people. It's all that dance background. It's good choreography.
Exactly. No, and that was another thing too. I know you did dance. I had seen a prior interview with you, and you had talked about your work, your talents, and then really learning how to let go of stuff and how it's necessary. And it was so bizarre because I gave this interview a week ago. So my publicist literally just emails me this, and they pick for the headline, "Learning to Let Go with Kash Hovey." And I'm like, oh, wow. And then that was on my mind right before, like 2 hours before this interview. I'm like, oh my gosh. So,
wow.
And I think we share that in common.
Yeah, I think you have to in this business. You cannot carry around with you every audition that you've had that you haven't heard back from. I mean, you would just be buried, right? So
I agree with you. Yeah, at the start of the new year, we were just busting them out. I had a colleague of mine. We were helping each other with our auditions. And it's amazing when you just get so into it, and then all of a sudden it's just, you submit it, and then I have to just forget about it now.
You really do, because you don't know if you're going to get a phone call. If you do, fantastic, and that's great, and you move on from there. But if you don't, it's always give absolutely everything that you have and invest everything that you want to invest in that audition, and then hit that submit button, and then that's it. And then, okay, do I have another audition, or do I need to go walk the dog? What do I need to do? And I think it's it's very difficult to do, because especially if it's a great audition, you're like, oh, how many days has it been? I used to do that obviously early in my career, and it is not a fun way to be in the world.
That it isn't. And you had a lot of great discipline and training growing up too. I know, for instance, you mentioned your mother's attitude with raising you is you get one day to just be negative. And
yes.
I didn't realize honestly, it took me a long time to really learn, and I'm still learning. I'm by no means any expert in anything, but that was something I'd kind of subscribe to, where it's like I get so focused, and then I have to remind myself if there's something that's on my mind, it's just not going to. I'm like, okay, whether it's journaling it or thinking about it, but it's really limiting that time to it to find a resolution, and not so it's not hanging on you.
Absolutely. But I also think you have to honor that. If you're angry or frustrated or upset at something, you can't just be like, oh, I got to move on. Honor that. Why am I feeling like that? What happened? All right, why aren't I moving on? And like you said, journal, meditate. Meditation is a great practice. I highly recommend it. But it really helps me step back and look at a situation and say, okay, why am I having that reaction? And why am I still holding on to it? It's just a great tool to just help you step back and step out of it, because sometimes you just can't see the wood for the trees.
Oh, you said it. I know. I'm just always looking for different ways to like test my ego. And because if anything's going, it's no, don't get me wrong. I love feeling good, and we want to ride the high if things are going great. But at the same time, it's like I got to put myself in check. Like, wait, am I really doing the best that I can do? Or because I mean, even especially in this business, things could just turn in a second. Or I was working on this movie during the holiday, and then because of the Omicron variant, it was like, okay, we had to shut it down. And then it's like, then it gets postponed a month. You're like, oh man, I was planning on working those days, but then hey, I got to find something else to balance that time out and to fill that time.
Yeah, exactly right. And being able to pivot, I think, is a huge tool to have, because sometimes it's hard to let go of that. And you have all of these plans, but I've been very fortunate. I've just always had that ability to go, okay, so that's not happening now. What do we do? I understand how fortunate I am to have that ability.
And that you do. My goodness, I've lost track about how many movies you have coming out this month. Carrie, I'm so grateful to have you on the show finally. I'm so fortunate that you made time for us today. Is there anything else that you would like to say to your fans out there?
Oh, well, you're very kind, first of all, Kash. Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you, everybody who watches and supports all of my films. I so appreciate it. And I love getting your comments on Instagram. I feel the love always. And thank you so much for your support.
Oh, you rock. My goodness, everyone, you need to follow Carrie Schroeder right now. If you have Lifetime, just turn it on and she's going to be on the TV.
Yeah, it'll be me at some stage during the day. I definitely will be on there.
And you can get the Lifetime Movie Network app and watch her new movies, Malicious Motives, as well as Killer Ambition, which airs January 21st, Friday. Also, I Am Frankie, one of her first series, is on Paramount Plus. I'm so grateful for your time, for the energy that you put out there. You're an inspiration. You just keep rocking, Carrie, and come back anytime.
Thank you so much, Kash. It was wonderful to speak to you.
Thank you so much for rocking out with me and Carrie Schroeder today. You are on air with Kash.